Welcome, welcome, welcome. Today, I'm going to go over a game plan of a project which we made $130,000 in Bear, Delaware. Okay, this was an out-of-state flip deal, which we did. I'm going to walk through the components, how the property was manifested from the beginning, what our plan of attack was, the different exit strategies which we looked at, and ultimately made a decision that we were going to keep it in-house, fix and flip it, and sell it to an end buyer on the back end because we knew what the price per square foot was in this specific subdivision, and we felt it was just a slam dunk deal. Going into the deal, we look at everything just like the times I played basketball in high school and college. You had a game plan for an opponent. We look at all our deals like it's an opponent. There's different strategies. There's X's and O's which have to be ran. And then there's adjustments along the way. You're going to have to make a lot of different pivots inside of a job. This job, fortunately, didn't have a lot of variations and flavors involved. Let's say that. Some there are, and I'll talk more about really just the acquisition side, and then give you a little bit of feedback throughout the job. So we really look at it in three different ways. The acquisition, how do we get it? What's our strategy? And then what's our plan to the end of what's going to happen? So our acquisition on this was a great lead, which we got from Hessel Media, which was an inbound lead from a seller who lived in Florida, but was a court reporter who had to come up to Delaware before retiring to go back to Florida. So we knew a little bit of background from the intake form that they provided us. And really for us, it was us coming up with, did the numbers work? Did we understand the full story? Based on what she shared, I noticed any sellers that are selling a house over $250,000 and it's a full disaster. Typically, it's not as bad as what they're making it out to be because they haven't really seen nasty and ugly like homes under $250,000. So you take that with a grain of salt, which is typically my sign of saying, oh, this could be a really good deal, and it was. So this was a deal that was worth me going out there, driving, seeing it in person, and verifying that the project really wasn't as crazy as the seller made it out to be. It was really just a big cleanup job. And by verifying it, I knew that this was not something that I was going to wholesale, because I could have wholesaled it for $30,000 or $50,000, but I was missing out on so much extra profit on this thing. And by being able to construct it in a creative way, I was able to avoid a lot of acquisition costs by bringing in a lender or putting up so much cash, because we agreed to a pretty large purchase price. But the next videos, I'm going to go through all the documents to show you the proof of like the time we purchased it, the HUD when we purchased it, the HUD when we sold it, and all the in-betweens of what happened from the before pictures, the after pictures, and our initial agreement of sale, and then the actual sale and how the numbers played out. So by looking at our renovation sheet of what the costs were, what the renovation cost was, you'll see how we came up with over $130,000 profit. So, but it all started with investing in getting leads, getting a lead source, and then playing out in the process. Hey, we are going to do a dive into the $130,000 net profit. It's going to be a very good analysis of beginning, middle, end, and the entire picture of how this thing came together. As I said in the video, it was a lot of different moving parts on this thing because of the seller situation. So it always goes back to what the seller situation is. Can you fit what you're trying to accomplish inside of their situation and make it work for them as well as us? We came up with a very creative deal as her staying there, giving her a down payment, partnering with us, and doing really a subtail. And here are the pictures to show you really what the property's condition was. So as I'm out here taking pictures of this damn thing, all I see is promise. There's amazing homes around it. It has over 3,000 square feet. It's a typical deal where you don't get, if you got 10 of these a year, you'd be extremely happy because it's out of control. So All I saw outside was landscaping that needed to be done. Some small like fascia board needed to be cleaned up. The soffit was a little dinged up. Then walking in, this is what I saw. It was, just a mess. I mean, you could see past just the mess. The walls are in good shape. Ceiling fan is good. It needed to be take the dust out of it. These hardwood floors and the hardwood staircase, amazing. It was absolutely beautiful when you came in. Could update the lighting, but for the most part, it was really a big cleanup job. Cleanup, as you can say. Things about pictures you can't express is the odor. This house smelled atrocious with cat urine smell. My shoes were soaking in this cat odor. It was horrible. So I trashed these shoes that I came there with. It was just abominable. But anyway, bunch of trash, as you say, trash everywhere. But looking past it all, I'm like, thing was clean. The mechanicals in the basement, pretty much brand new. So I was very giddy as I'm walking this home and keeping my composure by saying, you know what, we got this thing not only locked up before going there at 500,000, but I was manufacturing a solution to make this work for us as well as her. Solution for us was getting her a down payment, because I felt like that would give her some trust to let us do a subject to by paying her mortgage and letting her stay there while we do so, as well as not having as much money out of pocket, because we could save probably $15,000 to $25,000 in just fees and interest by having her agree to doing subject to instead of taking on a lender. So by pitching it to her about giving her a down payment, whether she stayed there or put her in Airbnb, this would be the best bet based on the size of this job. We really explained to her the size of this job, how much work it was going to take, and letting her know that, she needed to work with us a little bit to make sure it worked for both parties. And she was totally on board. She made it work. So the next step we did was, after the photos, we already have an agreement of sale signed with the woman, an addendum drawn up. So an addendum is just an extension or a change in terms based on the original agreement of sale. Original agreement of sale here was $500,000 for the purchase of the property. Then we tweaked it to the same price, $500,000. We're going to give her a $20,000 down payment. The check, we will prepay her 3 months in advance, $28,6155 per month, which will total 3 months in advance. And those are the terms. And we'll continue paying her and the mortgage until we sell the property. We told her, and she knew this, we felt very confident we'd come in there, clean it up, get in and get out. So the next step was, we contacted an attorney, because every state is different. We would have liked to do a novation agreement. However, based on the state and the attorney's experience, he told us the best solution was creating an LLC with the seller and us being 99% owner of the LLC, seller being 1%. And then inside the LLC, we'll draw up all the numbers and the agreement. So our partnership made sense. So at the next step, which would be closing, the title company would make sense of it and say, okay, this LLC owns it. Mary owns 99%, seller owns 1%. These are the parts to this operating agreement inside the LLC. Seller's mortgage is getting paid off. Seller has the proceeds of this, and then the remaining goes to Mario. We made it super easy, simple to follow for the seller, myself. These were the HUDs. First HUD on the purchase. As you can see, we purchased it in the LLC, 52 Wooderton LLC. And this is the property. We closed, settlement date November 3rd. Okay, keep that date in your mind, 11/2021, closed in Wilmington. $20,000 down payment on the transaction to the seller. This is actually really cheap, this title cost. $1,082. So really that was all in upfront, 21 grand to take possession of this deal. Mind you, there were attorney fees, but super cheap to enter a deal this size. Okay. So $21,000 to play ball. As I mentioned, seller gave us a month to go in there. A month earlier, we went in there, day one, hit the ground running, got it cleaned up, did the job, put it on the market, and flipped it over to our realtor down there, Jim Rice, who did an amazing job. So here you'll see these are the after pictures. This is definitely, in my opinion, augmented to how good it looked. This looks extremely good. Obviously, it's going to get people's attention to go in and see it. This looks a little bit more like it. This is the after. We really just cleaned up those shrubs as you saw in the before pictures, trimmed them back, put some nice mulch outside, and boom. I mean, it's a home that looks like it fits right into the neighborhood. Inside, there is fresh carpet, new paint, hardwoods we cleaned up, made it nice and pretty. Had a staging company come in, and you can see the ceiling fan is exactly the same. All we did was get a nice clean on it in the beginning and the end. The crown molding is still there. Everything was extremely clean and easy. Staging company came in and did a great job putting everything in the right place where you can visualize the home as far as coming in, moving in. The master bedroom was staged tremendously to get a feel for it. I like this little touch they did in the kitchen with the countertop, the little bench stools. And again, you saw the before pictures. It was just a mess, a great cleanup job. And boom. Living room, you can obviously, you walk in the front door and you see this and you really can feel this is a living space that you can see yourself living into. And yeah, just really a great job. Photos look great, and I can't stress the importance of staging if it's in your budget to be able to do so, as well as getting terrific photos on the back end to get buyers into the property. We're at the final stages now. Property gets under contract for $695, okay, and there's a HUD document. So this is the HUD document when you sell the property. Instead of me getting into particulars, I'm going to show you this and then also show you another document, which is awesome. It summarizes our net profit and how everything was played out. Sale price was $695. These were the taxes. Water and sewer still owed. This is the debit side. Commissions that we had to pay for. Transfer tax, which was split. Settlement payment to the seller of $113. Due to the seller, net $159,813. For future reference, if you ever see a HUD document and someone states this was their net number and their pure profit, it could be a partial lie and it could possibly be the truth. In this case, this is not the truth for me because our net profit was not $159,000. I wish it was. I will show you a spreadsheet of why it wasn't $159,000. This was what we received back, but this was not our net profit. Because remember, we also gave the seller a $20,000 down payment. There was renovation costs. There was the staging. I will provide that document to show you really what our net number was. We also even paid an assignment fee. So there's a lot of things that are put into this net number that comes back to you at closing, which doesn't tell you the full picture of what the actual profit was. I've been at closings where I've received back a net number of, say, $50,000, yet lost $20,000 on the deal. It's an illusion to some degree based on if you have lenders involved and your construction costs and all those things. So here is the project cost. So this is the invoice here. Invoice, as I mentioned, the initial down payment, $21,000. This was factored into the first closing. So this was the total all in, $21,082, including the title cost, the attorney fees that we had to pay on the front end of buying it. So the registration agent, so $22,841 to actually the acquisition cost of this thing. Okay. Beautiful part of it is we didn't have any realtors involved, so it was purely $22,841. Renovation costs, as you see, 30-yard dumpster, extra weight for the dumpster. We had to have 2 dumpsters actually dropped. Additional dumpster charge. We have our first draw to our contractor, materials, additional dumpster fees. This was a huge dumpster job, biggest clean out I've ever done. Another draw to the contractor, receipts for materials. The cleaner was $15.50. It was a huge cleaning job. The carpet, it was a hallway, I believe 4 bedrooms, $43.65, makes sense. Staging company was $2,700. And then we had a contractor coming at the end for a home inspection. He had to connect the dishwasher and do a couple small odd and end things mechanically. So our all-in renovation cost was $33,707.87. Our mortgage cost as well, we paid these 3 different mortgage payments, which totaled at $86.65 or $86.85.47, which was in our agreement with the seller. Down here, there was another cost of the assignment fee. So we build assignment fees into deals if we keep, because there's a salesperson who deserves a commission for closing the deal. As the owner, I take 10% of the assignment fee. So we built $20,000 into the rehab or the cost of this project. So our total cost was $184,763.29. The payback here was these different costs that we had to pay back to our different credit cards and places that we used. So from all those costs, we take away the sale price that we came, the purchase price, which was $500,000. So you take $500,000, take our cost, and then this is where you come up with your real net number, which came out to $119,528.93. And if you look at it though, we technically made as a company the $119,528 plus the $20,000 assignment fee. So the all-in total that we made was $139 on this flip, which is a extremely healthy profit when you're talking about turning it over in 3 months and 3 months only. A couple of reasons why this was such a big profit: definitely avoiding fees on the acquisition cost, being able to do a creative deal, which put us in the best spot, and then also knowing that going into this game plan, this was our exit strategy. So we really came up with a really good plan of attack in the beginning of saying, one, we're not wholesaling it to an outside party. We'll wholesale it internally so our team can eat, keep it, construct a creative deal, and then on the back end, sell it to an end buyer. This deal went flawlessly. Does not mean every deal is going to run as smooth as this. Every play you're going to draw up is going to run perfectly, and you're going to get layups and easy jump shots. This is one of those kind of like a perfect game. You play, it really went according to plan. But I want to show you what a perfect deal looks like, or a really good deal looks like. And also I'm going to go into some really bad deals that I was associated with, and I'll take full blame for it. But a lot of the deals, or the bad deals, some of the good ones, all help put deals like this together. So as you gain experience, these are the deals that you'll be able to see through a lot of the forest and the trees to see the end, because you have experience, or you can leverage experience from other people, and they can share different things like this to you. So hopefully this is not only informative, but inspires you to know that you can make a full salary in a year on one deal in 3 months, and it can change your life. I mean, this can change your life by one deal and one deal only. But really understanding the mechanics inside of a deal is what I'm hoping you can capture, even if it's one little trick, one little tip, something that helps create some clarity along the way, and eventually something's going to register and say, oh, I see how to do this thing. And that's when it becomes really fun. So best of luck. Hope you enjoy. See you soon.